Bali is an amazing place to live, and as with all places, there are some things that is nice to know before moving there. After almost 4 years here in Bali, there are some things that I kind of wish that I knew before I moved here and some things that I just learned along the way. So today I'm going to share with you 10 things that is good to know before moving to Bali. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe. I post a lot of videos with information about Bali if you're moving here or traveling here. And also don't forget to like this video. So first thing is to look into what visa you should use. I actually made a video about all the different visas in Bali, so I will link that down below. But this is something that I kind of wish that I'd done more research about before I came to Bali the first time and knew that I wanted to stay here a little bit longer, because that would have saved me time and also money. So I think to come here for a few months, you should definitely contact a visa agent and set up a more long-term visa than just a visa on arrival or tourist visa. So check out that video if you're looking for a more long-term visa option here in Bali. Another thing is to take some time to find a place. And when I mean find a place, I mean an actual place to live, like a villa or whatever option you're looking for. When I came, I had this idea that I wanted to live in a very specific area. But I started looking for places when I arrived, and I ended up staying in a whole different part of the island that I live on. And I'm so happy 4 years later that this is the part of the island where I'm living, a little bit more quiet side. So a tip is to not book up a too long contract before you actually get to Bali, because I think it's a really good thing to actually look for a few different options and maybe also try living a few different areas to really find where you want to settle down. Third thing is to get a local SIM card. So a local SIM card will make it so much easier to have a local phone number that you can use, and also to have internet on your phone. And this is really easy to find. You will find a lot of different shops where you can get this. You can also actually get it in the airport. So this is definitely something that I recommend to do directly when you come here. Continuing on the phone subject, another thing I think is really good is to download WhatsApp, because here in Bali, WhatsApp is the place to communicate. Everyone uses WhatsApp. Most businesses uses WhatsApp. So this is definitely the way to communicate with people here in Bali. And continuing with apps, another app, or actually two different apps that could be good to download, is two apps called Gojek and GrabCar. So these are apps kind of like Uber, but also like Uber Eats, because you can order a taxi and you can also order food to have delivered to your house. So this is definitely a very good thing to use to get cheaper taxis. You can use scooter taxi or car. It's up to you to choose in the app, and you can also have delivery with food from many, many places around Bali. It's not everywhere in Bali. For example, the island where I live on Nusa Lembongan, we don't have Gojek or GrabCar, but on mainland, most of the places on mainland, this is available. One thing that I have mentioned in a video before is that taxis in some specific areas, for example, in Ubud Center, you cannot use the app because they try to protect the local taxi drivers. So it's not allowed to use the app because it pushes the prices down. So that's good to know. Continuing with apps, another app that I think is really good to download if you're planning on staying here for a while, or actually even going on vacation, is Duolingo. So Duolingo is a language app to practice the local language. So if you want to learn some basic Bahasa, as it is called, Bahasa actually means language in Indonesian. So Bahasa Indonesia is the national language here. To say thank you, maybe where or how much and things like that could be good to learn. Most people here speak some basic English, but not everyone. So it's definitely good to have some local phrases to be able to use. And then drinking water. Do not drink the tap water. I think for many people that's been traveling, this is kind of overall thing that you know in many places in the world, that you should not drink the tap water. That is also true here in Bali. It will not be good for you or your tummy if you drink the local tap water. But you can actually buy big gallons that is, I think it's 19 liters for very, very cheap. We buy them for around 30,000. But that is really nice to buy to have at your house, so you can just refill your water bottle at any time. But also many shops and warungs, restaurants, etc. also can refill your water bottle for free or for a small amount. So that is a very good thing to do. And speaking of beverages, let's move on to food. Definitely try the local food. So restaurant in Bali is called warung. Basically is more local type of food. Often they have some Western style food also, but this is definitely something that I recommend to try some of the local food and not only stick with the Western type of food, even though Bali has really good Western type of food also. In some areas, there are a lot of vegan options, for example, but don't come to Bali and not try the local food. Not only the local food, also learn some about the local culture. The local culture here in Bali is so rich. There are always ceremonies, there are always things going on every day, offerings on the street and around houses and maybe even in the house where you live. So this is a really interesting culture to learn more about, and the locals are very open and very friendly. And if you ask to be able to join a ceremony, they usually allow you to come and join and are really happy if you want to do that. So definitely try to connect with some of the locals and see more about the local culture. And last but not least, join Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups about Bali that you can join. There are specific areas, or for only girls, or for surfers, or divers, or whatever it could be that you are interested in. There's so many Facebook groups to get information, to connect with people, to find events, or whatever it might be that you're looking for. So this is definitely something that I would do while arriving here or before you arrive here, to kind of already connect with the people that live or stay here. That's it, I think. So don't forget to subscribe. I do post videos about info in Bali, and I hope you learned something. If there's something that you're wondering about and something that you would like to know more about, please make a comment and I will try to talk more about that specific subject. And also make a comment if you're planning going to Bali, or if you've been to Bali and loved it, or whatever you would like to make a comment about. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.